right, keep it down, right?
Alrighty, we're back again. I am sure you guys are annoyed of all these, but at the same time, I'm hoping it's providing you guys value. We're on Will and Friends live with a webinar with Brian Aguilar. He's a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu practitioner. He's been doing it for almost probably 10 plus years and been doing Jiu Jitsu and mixed martial arts.
7.5.
Yeah, exactly, almost 10 years. And been doing mixed martial arts for some time as well. And for those who don't know, I posted on Facebook that we are doing it on Zoom. So if you want to come in, if you want to show Brian the way you're doing it and have him coach you through it, feel free to join us on the Zoom call. We're also posting this on Facebook Live as well. So if you have any questions or comments or just want to practice with us or do the drills with us, we'd be honored for you to do that. For those who don't know you, Brian, could you do a little elevator pitch of who you are and so people are more informed of who you are?
All right, my name is Brian Aguilar. I'm a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu brown belt. I started doing martial arts at the age of 24. I had always been curious ever since I saw UFC 1 when I was back in high school. It was like 1999, around that time, that I finally got to see those videos. And I really wanted to do martial arts, but we didn't have money and we didn't have any knowledge as to where to go. So after I graduated college and started making my own money, I started to train in MMA first. But MMA is not a discipline. It's just a way of doing individual martial arts mixed into one. So I went to an MMA gym that taught Muay Thai, which is what I started with first, which is a striking art. Then I learned wrestling, and then I learned how to blend the two. And then later on, when my daughter was born and I didn't have a lot of time to train, I picked Brazilian Jiu Jitsu to continue my martial arts training. It's a very effective self-defense. But I think in order to defend yourself well, you need to understand all aspects of a fight, which is standing, grappling, and those two big aspects, and distance management it's huge. So as I went on, started doing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And now my children train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, specifically my son more than my daughter. But she has trained for a while, so she actually is a gray belt, which is the second belt you can get as a child. And my son is working to get his. But I mean, that's as simple as it can get. Also, I am an accountant. I work for the Irvine Company as a senior accountant, which is interesting.
Right. So don't mess with Brian. You think he's just like this professional accountant and won't mess with you, but yeah, you don't want to mess with Brian. But why don't we go into it, Brian? I know you have some drills for us to work on.
Okay, so last time, one second. So last time we did a specific drill where the kids were doing a pass where they learn how to move their body through a technique, and we make them do it repeatedly, which is we make them drill it. And it's been almost 2 weeks maybe since the last time we met, and I had to build upon it. So now I extended that drill so that they now can use it to move to better positions. All right, so Balin, Eliana, can you please lay down here, head that way, Balin, you're gonna do your X pass to knee on belly to mount. So I have them drill this about 10 times. Eliana, keep your hands like this so he doesn't step on them. Go ahead. So he's gonna pass the guard, knee on belly to control, and then to mount. Go ahead, all the way to mount, Balin. All right, do it again. Do it again. Balin, do it again. Can you do it quicker now, please? I don't want it in slow motion. I need it to be a drill so that you can move. There it is. Go ahead. All the way to the end. All right, back up. Do it again. We're going to make you do just 5 today. Go ahead. All the way to the end. All right, again. This is going to be your 4th. So he's moving the legs. Don't forget the grip. That grip needs to stay, Balin, the right hand grip. Nope, don't go back up. You're going to have to do it again. You're going to have to do it again. Don't let go of the right hand grip until you go to mount. So he's moving the legs to pass the guard. He's stepping correctly, putting the knee on belly, and then using his hands on the mat, go ahead, to distribute his weight forward and easier to move his lower body.
What's this drill called again?
This one, it doesn't have a specific name, but he's doing multiple things.
X-pass.
He's doing an X pass. He's passing the legs, that's the X pass, to knee on belly, to mount. It's not a specific name, but it's just a series of moves. Can you go on your back, Phelan? And Eliana's gonna do a couple so you can see what it looks like also when somebody else does it. Ready? Stand up. Come here. All right. Feet up top. Ready, Eliana? So she's gonna get the inside grip. Go ahead. And we're gonna. The key to this is so that they can start doing it faster and faster. The faster they can do it, the more repetitions we want. Right now, they're not too quick. As they just started to add on it, more base. Go ahead, that's perfect. As they get better, feet up on the hips. As they get better, you would like them to do higher amounts of repetition. Right now they're at 10. So as they get faster, you can go up to 20. But what you want them to do is to start moving. Phelan, all the way to the hips. Go ahead, Liana. She's gonna move his legs, knee on belly to mount. That's what we want to do. We want to be able to get them to quickly maneuver through legs. And the reason why we want them to always control the legs is because, again, self-defense situation, you don't want anybody kicking you in the face. You want to be able to touch them and feel their movement. Go ahead, do one more. And then you can tell what they're going to be doing. Are they going to kick you or are they going to, because you can feel what's going to happen. And go ahead. We'll do one more time. Hold the inside grip. The beauty of this pass is if they do kick, let's say, hold the outside, that's actually helping you because they're gonna go try to kick. Go ahead. It's actually helping you because they're gonna have less control of their body. Because if somebody's kicking, all momentum's going forward. So as she moves it out of the way, she can get there faster. So this is very good to control legs. This is very good to get past their legs where it's the most dangerous at this point when somebody's on the ground. And then to get to a position where you're fully in control at full mount. All right, stand up, stand up, stand up. So that would be one of the drills that I like to do with them. Another drill that we have them drill. Eliana, Balin, can you sit over there, please? So I can have Eliana show. It's called a technical get up. So face that way. She's going to do, one hand up, one hand down. She's gonna have one hand up, one hand down. She's on her hip and she's moving, really, she's putting pressure on this foot to move her hips back. Do two hips back and then the third one, I want you to get up.
Mm-hmm.
So she's gonna go back one, back two, and then up. This one goes all the way to the back, like that. Do it again. Come over here, come to the front. So you get them to do this for like about 2 minutes, right? So you do back step, go ahead, hip out, and then up, technical get up. That's your technical get up right there. The reason why we want to be able to do it in that manner is for your safety, right? If you're on the ground, let's say, because we're talking about a martial art, right? So we're talking about self-defense. If you're on the ground and you have to get up or you want to get up and someone's right in front of you, doing this is going to get you kicked in the face. Getting your hand out to be able to block is now giving you the opportunity to back yourself up. But at the same time, if you need to stand up and fight, you're going to get up, foot back, and you're ready to go. Your feet are in place, you're ready to take down, or you're ready to strike. If you're getting up in any direction, so you're gonna go back, up, ready to go. So that's why we teach them that drill specifically for a technical get up. Do you have any questions regarding that one?
Yeah, so if I were to do it, can you show it again? So you're gonna be on one side, like this. Okay.
One leg down, one leg up.
Okay.
This leg that's on the mat or on the floor, you're gonna put weight on this leg and this hand so that your hip can back up. So you want to be on your side. So turn to your side. Yeah, you see this? So I'm sitting up this way.
Got it.
Turn this way.
Got it.
The other hand. Like that. Pick yourself up, move your hips back. Like that. So, because we're doing that, now you can get up with the leg that has no weight. Because
Right.
you can pick your leg up, put it behind you. There you go.
How often would you do this drill to like get down the rhythm of it?
Where I attend, it's daily. Every time you train how to do these. So the reason why you train is because you do end up on the ground because we're doing grappling. So sometimes you're going to be the one on the floor and you want to get up. So you have to do it fast. So we do it. There you go.
So this the leg here, you're just dragging it.
Yeah.
And then you just
Yep. And then the
practice
last
on the other side.
you're going to do both sides. So where I attend, we go 1 and 2, right? And we also do the other side, 1 and 2. But I always like to do the third one where you stand up because you get used to doing a technical get up. Because you always want your legs under you, exactly. And you want to have good base. So you always want to be able to get up with good base.
But at the same time, like if you are in a self-defense situation, you're probably getting knocked down, and you need to have the awareness to be like sit yourself up and not stay down.
Right. So if they're not getting to you, so if you get knocked down, right, and you're not staying on the ground, you need to get up and start protecting yourself, right? Here's your hand to protect yourself. You got to make distance. You can pivot off of this position as well, right? So at one point when you feel the timing is right, you got to get up.
Got it.
I mean, if you watch MMA fights, you'll see them actually do that. You'll see them like stay like this because they're ready for the hit, and when there's enough timing and space, boom, they're up.
Makes sense. So you're saying just do it maybe a few times, but you also want to practice getting up and then switching sides.
Yes. So I would recommend hip out, and up, and then get down, hip out, and up.
So you're using this hand to push you out.
Correct. And your hips are moving under you.
Got it.
So you're suspending yourself with the hand and the foot, and your hips are moving backwards.
Got it.
So you're going to give yourself some space so you can scoot back, right? This hand is not going to be right here, right? You need to get space. So you're going to go a little bit further back, and you're going to bring this one a little bit closer because you want to get into that space. There it is, just like that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see. Arm out.
There you go. And again, you want to keep your eyes on the opponent the whole time. So you want to get used to looking at them and backing up if necessary.
Makes sense. That's a great exercise to be practicing.
Yeah, we drill that. You just got to keep moving. So usually, you would start with lower intensity stuff, higher intensity stuff, and then you kind of bring it back down at the end. These are one of the ones you want to bring down at the end.
Got it. So it's a little lower intensity.
Yeah. So one of the next drill we're going to show is I learned this while I was wrestling, but when I learned how to wrestle with King's MMA back in 2008, 2009, around that time, 2009. Hey, Elena. So I learned how to wrestle out of King's MMA again with a fighter from Strikeforce at the time, Connor Hewing. And one of the drills he made us do was one of us was on all fours while the other one was spinning on top of us. And what this teaches you is how to distribute your weight on the person that's under you while you're moving. Because a lot of times what happens is people overextend themselves and they think the more body on top of you, the better. But then when you get up, you fall on the other side. So this next drill helps you understand how to move around a person and how to move your hands to stay, Eliana, come here, to stay balanced. All right, so I put them through it about 2 minutes each. And then while they're doing it, I'm calling them to switch. So they're gonna be spinning in one direction. I call the switch. They spin the other opposite direction. They gotta learn how to move on their toes. And the reason why we wanna move on our toes is because you're faster on your toes and you can apply the most weight on your opponent on your toes. The moment you go on your knees, you spread your weight a little bit further out, but that's usually when you're stabilizing, right? But when you're moving, you wanna stay on your toes.
What's this drill called again?
I actually don't know what it's called.
What would you call it? What would you name it?
I would probably call it a pressure drill, just because it taught me how to put pressure on people while I move. So usually I use the person's body as my pivot, because when I want to move, I don't want them to move. The moment I give them space as I move is the moment they have space to move. But when I put pressure on them and I move, they are pinned to the ground as I'm moving. And that's what I want. I don't want them to be able to move while I'm moving on top. So I'm gonna have Eliana do it on me. So if you have kids, you can be their dummy. If you have multiple kids, they can be each other's dummy. But in this case, I'm gonna be for her, and she's gonna spin around me, and she's gonna be moving her hands to be able to balance herself, but she's gonna be also applying pressure from her chest into my body, and she'll be moving it. It's not gonna always stay in the same spot. When you're in the back, you need to pressure different points of the body. When you're in the front, you need to pressure different points of the body. You ready, Eliana? Ready? Go ahead. You're too high. When you're back here, you want to be right here. Go ahead. Good. Switch. You gotta move your chest. It's in the same spot every time. Switch. Switch. Control the body. You see, you're getting too much weight. Switch. You're getting too much weight, Eliana. Switch. 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 Stop. Good job. So like that.
Tell us a little bit about what you guys were saying. We couldn't hear you that well when you were telling her. I know you were telling her to switch, but you're correcting her on some things.
Okay, so here's a good example. Come here. Remember, tuck and roll. Tuck and roll. Get on your all fours. Right here. Get on top. So when she's pressuring at the lower part of the body here, she wants to be closer to the hips and pressing down so that if he tries to get up, she's actually pressing on his lower back. She's putting weight and she's on her toes, right? If she spins the other direction, go, stay on the top of the head. Go to the top of the head.
Here.
Yeah, on your toes, on your toes. Spin, 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 spin. See, she's controlling his hips the entire time, because this is where all the movement happens. When you are grappling with people, the strongest hips are gonna win. You want to control their hips and their hip movement on your toes. So right here, she's gonna be putting more pressure by the nape of the body and the upper back, right? Because, all right, Balin, put pressure down right here. Eliana, toes, get up. Balin, get up. I want you to, you see how her pressure is too high up. He's able to get up under her body. As she lowers, go down, step back, step back, step back, step back, step back. Balin, on your knees. And press down here, toes. And hold here, like this. Balin, get up. It's a lot harder for him to get up now. She's controlling the head at the top. She's controlling the hips at the bottom, right? So he can't get up here. If she overextends her body up here, tuck and roll. Get up, Balin. Get up. Up, up, up. How easy it is to move. So, all right, get off. So this drill, stay right here, Balin. When you're spinning around the person, you're not just staying in one spot. You're moving your chest here. So when he tries to get up, stand up, Balin. This is what you want. He can't stand up. His knees are being pressed into, or his butt's being pressed into his feet. Again, get out of the way, Eliana. When she's moving to this direction, she's putting pressure right here in this area, like this. So Balin, get up. This is what you want. You want it to make it very difficult for them to get up here and here. So as she's learning how to spin on top of the body, she's controlling her body movement and she's controlling the person at the bottom. But if I put weight here, right? Go ahead, get up. It's a lot harder to control them. So when you want to control a person, lower body, you're going to be around the back area here. Upper body, you're going to be around the nape and the upper body here. So that's what that drill does. And it gets them moving and it gets them learning. When people are under them and they're grappling, they'll be able to control them and know what the control positions are. So because you're drilling it, you're getting used to it quickly. You're doing it all the time because when you're grappling, you don't always have the opportunities to do these things. Like that X pass to knee on belly to mount. Is she going to use it every time she spars? Probably not. That opportunity might not be available. But as you drill it, she can make it available because she can find it now. And then when you're grappling, excuse me, now you can feel the person moving and you remember the drill. And you don't even have to remember. You feel the drill because you've already done it so many times. You know where to move without even thinking about it. You're just pressing your body where it needs to be pressed.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So you're saying it's harder to do that drill by yourself. You need another person to be able to help with that.
Another person or even an exercise ball. Because the exercise ball is going to move.
Yes.
You can stay on that exercise ball in one movement. As you move back and forth, you'll have a lot more control of a person.
I have an exercise ball. Give me one moment. One moment. Maybe you can talk about, I don't know, something.
So for everybody who doesn't train in jiu-jitsu, it's a great martial art. You get a lot of camaraderie from it. I've really enjoyed being able to get to know a lot of different people. One of the great benefits I've had from doing martial arts, especially Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, is when you travel to different locations. I've been to New York and I got to visit Renzo Gracie Academy, one of the biggest academies in the world. And they just welcome you with open arms. And it's like you're speaking a different language that only you guys know. Because once we start rolling, we know that language of jiu-jitsu. And we just embrace each other. And it's just like, you know, you have friends in Hawaii that you've never met. Because you're going to go train there and be like, you know what, can I pass by and train with you guys? Sure, drop by. And sometimes you can give them a courtesy fee and drop a couple bucks to the instructor for letting them have some mat time. Some instructors would rather not get mat fees and just say, here, just join us and train with us today if you would like. But man, I've been to different parts and I've just trained with different people. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. It's like, I know they're so friendly because we speak the same language.
Were you able to build a community through this type of activity?
Huh?
It's awesome that you're able to build a community through an activity, but it's also great self-defense.
Exactly. It's awesome. Yeah.
All right, so I have the ball here.
Okay, so with the ball, you want to be able to control the ball, right? Most of the pressure is going to come from one part of your body. So when you're spinning, you want to be able to kind of lean in the direction that you're spinning. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
And you're going to stay on your toes. So get your toes out there. Yeah. Okay. Now you're going to spin around the ball, but don't lift your hands up. You're spinning straight on the ball, just like that. Exactly. You want to make sure you're pivoting off of that ball. It's very difficult, but you have to understand that when you do this against a person, it's harder than that.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to pin it, and you want to be able to move left and right. So you don't have a lot of space. So if I were you, I would go left, right, left, right, left, right, while keeping the ball right in front of you.
Okay.
Yeah, you stop there and then go the other way. Stop there, go the other way.
So because I'm moving my feet a lot, should I be moving my hands as well?
When you're on a body, you're gonna be moving your hands because you're gonna go right. You're grabbing a torso. Let's say the head is here. When I go to the side, I need to control the hip. You're gonna be on the other side, and then your hands are gonna be like that. So you're constantly trying to keep your hands around a person. So yeah, you'll be moving your hands around the person. But right now, because you have an exercise ball that would help in this exercise, you can do that. Also, a good thing about the exercise ball is you can practice your knee on belly with it too. With like an active person moves, you would put one knee on belly, one foot out, and then you would try to rotate from left to right, changing your knee and belly, right? So it's kind of helping you when a person's moving, how you would move your feet and stabilize.
Oh, that's a good point. Interesting. So one more time. So we're pivoting, moving. Should you be doing this quickly too?
Yeah, I mean, you've never done it before, so it feels different when the person's on the bottom, right? So that feels different. It feels like you're gonna fall off.
Right.
You want to be about this portion of your body is what's pinning it. When you go over, you're gonna feel like you're gonna fall over.
Right.
So you're kind of like you're spearing it, right?
Okay.
And on your toes, chest into the ball. So get down a little bit lower. Not your feet, but your chest. So your hips are gonna come up higher, and your chest is gonna come down.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So scoot back more. You're over the ball too much. Scoot back. You gotta scoot your body back. Roll back. So roll back like that. So you're on this point of the ball. Now get on your toes, hips up, right there. That's how you're gonna move.
Okay.
Because you're pinning it down like that. You feel that? So you don't want to like pump up. You want to just stay there, right on the ball. Spin on the ball like that without ever creating space.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. It's difficult, but that's how you learn how to stay on top. And you would do it left and right. And that's good to practice if you're on your own like that. But when you have a partner like these two do, or even you and your son, you can just rotate around you and have, because the foot movement is going to change as you go left and right.
Makes sense. No, that's a great point that you bring up this exercise ball. Like some of the exercises that we can do, if you don't have a partner, you can at least practice the form or the rhythm of it.
Yeah, that's been helpful. I mean, a lot of people do use the exercise ball sometimes to get stable on their knee on belly, because when you have somebody under you and they're moving like crazy, you get to learn how to stabilize a ball. It makes it easier to stabilize a person because they have grips to hold on to.
That's great. That's great.
Do you have any other questions?
That's primarily it. Are there certain drills you think we should just be doing just for exercise sake? Maybe even the recap from last time we did?
Well, the sprawling one is good. You know, where you move, you sprawl, you take down. An easy one that I'll show you that we do for jiu-jitsu is hip escapes, right? We did the side hip escape to stand up, right?
Right.
We also drill hip escapes on the ground because when you're under somebody, you got to learn how to move your hips. It's very important to move your hips properly when you're grappling. So, all right, can I get this space right there? So, a good drill would be to be on one side. It's the same concept, foot on the ground. This one's gonna kind of drag, but your hips are gonna move as you go up. And then scoot up, do the other one like that, right? You can do all one side and then the other side going back like that. And why that's important and why that's good to drill, it's actually not that easy either, is when somebody's on top of you. Eliana, come here. When somebody's on top of you like this, and you can't just get up. It's not that easy. It's a lot harder to just get up. So what you're learning to do is move your hips and slide out. So as you slide out, you're able to move your hips from under, right? So same thing. If somebody's mounted on top, right? This is one of the most impossible positions to escape if you don't know what you're doing. There's a couple things you can do to get up, right? Which is like a tuck and roll, which you control this and go over. But just to talk about the hip escape, if a person on top is very good and they are not letting you up and you can't trap and roll them and you're stuck under, your only escape is getting your hips out from under because she's on top of my hips. So if I have a good practitioner on top, you're going to have to learn how to, come on, get your knees. You have to learn how to squeeze your way out of things and get your hips out of those situations so that you can, again, use your hips to defend and attack. So this drill, hip escape, helps you get used to that movement, because from all the years I've been training, one of the things I've noticed that's very difficult for people to do is move their hips. Wrestlers, they're amazing with moving their hips. They have strong, powerful hips. But somebody off the streets never grappled. That's one of the most important drills, because moving your hips is what causes your defense to be good or bad. And it causes your offense to be good or bad. Zero hip movement, you're not going anywhere. But somebody with very good hip movement, it is incredibly difficult to control them.
Are there other resources in regards to hip movements? The ones you're teaching us, I think those are really good for us to practice. But are there other resources that we can look into to strengthen our hip or hip movement?
Honestly, just regular exercise.
Yeah.
I mean, regular exercise is going to help you. These techniques are going to help you get used to the movement. They're going to be difficult too, and they're going to help you develop those muscles in that way. But in reality, for anything, you really do need good, strong exercise. I mean, without exercise, honestly, I've heard of one catastrophic injury where a person only did jiu-jitsu but did not do any strength exercise. His knee tore completely because he told the doctor, "Hey man, I've been doing exercise. I've been doing jiu-jitsu every day." He's like, "But you're not strengthening those muscles you're using to do jiu-jitsu." It's like playing basketball without working out. What's going to happen? You're going to tear your Achilles. You're going to tear your knee on a pivot. You want to strengthen these muscles you're using. So regular exercise will help your hips be stronger. And all the other small parts, ligaments and muscles that help your knee to stay intact, and your muscles, your chest or your biceps to stay intact. Because we're going to be straining those as you practice.
Right. Makes sense. Well, Brian, thank you so much. I know you're a busy man, father, family of 5, father of 3 kids, young active kids, and so I appreciate you so much taking the time out of your schedule to teach us, show us drills, and keep us active, especially when we're sheltering in place right now.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to even want to be active when you're just at home,
What motivates you? Maybe before we end, what motivates you to continue to stay active despite the difficulty of it?
To not be fat ever again. That's really what motivates me.
Tell us about that, if you don't mind going into that.
I was fat as a kid. I don't ever want to feel like that again. Second reason why is I was paranoid, growing up as a kid in bad neighborhoods, and I never want to feel like I'm going to be out of shape in which I cannot defend myself. I hate I went to a gym for the first time right when I was, I guess, 23, 24 years old. and thinking like, oh, I lift weights, but I didn't do a lot of cardio. I lift weights, I'm strong. I get into a ring with a guy that's like 5'6", I'm 5'9". Walk in there, I'm like about 200 pounds, and he's about 50 maybe, 160, and just he lit me up. I could barely breathe, and it wasn't that he was, stronger than me. He was more technical than me. He had better tactics and strategies than me, and I could barely breathe, and I didn't even make it out of 2 minutes before that guy just lit my face up, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to get beat up. And it all had to do with just not having good fitness. So for me, that is always in my mind. Like that, I don't ever want that to ever happen again. That was the worst feeling, to just get beat up, almost like a punching bag. It was crazy. It was my first time ever sparring, and it was a good lesson to learn. Fitness is huge when it comes to self-defense. Huge.
Well, kudos to you. Kudos to you to even put yourself in a position like that. Because definitely average people out there, they're like, no, thank you. But you put yourself in that position to learn.
And no joke, I was scared. My stomach hurt, everything. I was like my coach said, get in the ring, you're sparring. I was like, I am? For the first time, I was like, I can't believe it. And it's not, listen, martial arts is it's going to be scary because you're going to lose. You're going to feel vulnerable, and you're going to feel beat up because people are literally beating you up. But doing hard things and accomplishing difficult tasks is going to help you overcome other things in the future. When you feel like you're getting beat up, when you feel like you can't do anything, you get mentally strong at the same time. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time now. I've been under people where I tapped because I broke. They broke me, and I could not fight any longer. But then that sticks with you. I'm not going to break again. And then you go in there against the same guy, and it's like, he's not going to break me. But I don't care if I lose. He's not going to break me. And you get these little wins. And as you get these little wins, then you get more confident. Like, I got to push harder. And next time, I think I could do better. And then these hard things are where it's going to help you. But again, fitness level is huge for self-defense. There was just a story recently, Anthony Smith from the UFC. Look up that interview about the house invasion. This guy is one of the best 205-pound fighters in the world. He is not 205. He probably weighs about 215, 220. Fought a guy 170 pounds, and he could not believe that when he's in the fight of his life, he was not putting this guy out. He couldn't put him to sleep by choking him. He couldn't punch him enough times to make him knock out. He was getting tired because they were both fighting for their lives. And their adrenaline was so high. And he said, if I wasn't as fit as I am, if this was an average person who's not fit, this could have gone really bad. So those are the kinds of things that stick in my mind. But if anybody's watching this or watches this in the future, look up Anthony Smith's home invasion story, and it'll let you understand what a fight feels like, because he puts it all, he fights in the cage, but fighting for your life is totally different.
It's a good word, Brian. Do the hard things, and they have the fruit of that is not only physical, but can go into all different realms of application. Work, life, personal, business, whatever it is. That's a good word.
Yep, exactly right.
Thanks again, Brian. Appreciate it. If people want to reach out to you, where best can they find you?
I'm on Facebook, Brian Aguilar. I'm on Instagram, b.aguilar88. You can find me at Mamouche BJJ when they open up again, doing jiu-jitsu. If you ever want to train with me and learn from who I learned from, Bruno Paulista. Obviously, don't look for me at the Irvine Company. I'm an accountant. I don't do anything other than accounting there. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Awesome.
And this is my son, Balin. This is my daughter, Eliana. And I got one more in there. She's probably coloring.
Awesome. Again, Brian, thank you so much. I appreciate your heart serving in this way. Hope you and your family are doing safe and sound, and we'll talk next time.
All right. Can you say bye like this? Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Bye,
Take
guys.
care.
wasn't really like jiu-jitsu.
Thank you, Valen.
No, that wasn't really like jiu-jitsu. I was